This conference will now be recorded.
So obviously, you all know we acquired our own title company earlier this year. You also know that table funding went away in North Carolina. That's the Real Estate Commission did that, of course. It's not just us, it applies to every firm. And we've been looking for a way to hopefully help y'all get paid a little bit quicker, even with table funding gone. And one of the ways that we found that we can make that happen is by working with our preferred attorneys and using Verus Title. So like I said in the uh, course description, the meeting description, it's a really simple process. Not every, no matter how simple it is, we know that not every attorney is willing to do anything extra to help us out. So we're going to have a list of approved attorneys. We have not personally spoken to every one of these attorneys to ask, will they do this? These were picked objectively based on the fact that they pay us on time. These are attorneys that don't take 3 weeks or a month to get our check to us, because the way this program is going to work is we are actually paying you before we get paid. So we can't do that with just any attorney. We can't pay you ahead of time if it's an attorney that's going to send the check to the wrong place twice and end up taking a month to pay us. So I'm going to share my screen here with y'all. And first thing we're going to take a look at here is this is the brochure that lays out the steps. Again, like I said, it's not complicated. You need to let the closing attorney know you want to use Verus Title for the title policy. You will make sure you get the affiliated business arrangement disclosure signed. At closing, you can ask the attorney to do these things in step 2. They literally send one extra email. That's all we're asking them to do. They send one extra email after closing to QUICKPay@verustitle.com with the signed ALTA or HUD showing that everyone has signed, it's really closed, and a PDF showing either their file ledger, that the money is actually there, the money is in their account, they have it, or if they've already recorded the deed, just send over a copy of the recorded deed. Super easy. We're literally asking them to send one extra email with 2 documents. Verus will get that. They will notify Fathom Accounting that this really has closed. They issued the title and that the funds are there. They will notify Fathom Accounting to go ahead and pay you. So now, of course, depending on what time of day it is, it may be the same day, it may be the next day. If any of you noticed the post that Clark put on the Facebook group recently, he closed right about 11:30 or noon. He had his check by 4:30 that afternoon. So we've seen it work. And then at that point, the attorney can just mail or wire the commission check. You don't need to go back and pick up the check. So I don't know, I guess it's almost better than table funding because you don't have to drive back to their office once the deed is recorded. And then the accounting team will take care of uploading the documents that is sent to Verus in step 2. So again, super simple. These are the attorneys that we have objectively, again, selected based on how quickly they pay us. This does not necessarily mean every one of these will be willing to do this. If you want to know for sure that you will get Verus QUICKPay, use Newman & Newman. For those of you who don't know, Elizabeth has worked with us for years, basically as long as Fathom has been here. I've spoken to Cecil. He has told me that they are more than happy to take this extra step for us. That's actually the attorney that Clark closed with when he was able to get his check the same day. So look on this list, work with one of these attorneys, ask them first if they'll do it. For example, I want to say Gwynn and Edwards is maybe one of those firms that's not super cooperative with everything. They pay us on time, but they may not be willing to do this. So, talk to your favorite attorney on this list, see if they're willing to do it. If they're not, you can always work with Newman and Newman. They're great Fathom supporters. So you will need to do a couple things with your client. You'll need to have them sign the affiliated business arrangement disclosure form. You can find these in the resources folder. It is, if you're in my office at least, because the resources folder is set up by office. On mine at least, it is on the second page because Verus starts with a V and all my other documents start with earlier letters in the alphabet. So if you're in my office at least, make sure you scroll over to page 2 to find the documents that you would need for Verus, the business disclosure. And we've had a few attorneys where our agent has requested Verus Title, and then the attorney went ahead and used whoever they wanted anyway. So if you run into that issue, well, number one, that attorney's probably not going to do QUICKPay anyway. But if you want to be sure that Verus gets used on a transaction, we do have a selection form that the client, the borrower, can sign, and you can provide that to the attorney. So the attorney has something in writing saying, yes, the client is requesting that this title company be used. And then just a little informational brochure here that you could provide to your clients if you wanted to. Frankly, most people probably don't even know what title insurance company got used on their last closing. But something worth keeping in mind, a lot of the other title insurance companies in this area are owned by other real estate companies. Of course, the real big one is Market Title. So, if you close a deal and the attorney uses Market Title, HPW is making money on your closing, whether they're involved or not. So at the very least, let's not pay other real estate companies when we do our own closings. I saw a question pop up over here in chat. So how do we get the list? I think I've sent it out to my office. We can do that again. And does the lender need to have the paperwork as well? I don't think the lender has any part to play in like title insurance selection. They don't need to do anything extra. Lenders, they require title insurance, but yeah, that's all taken care of between the buyer and the closing attorney. So, like I said, it's a super easy process. Literally, the attorney makes one extra email. So, again, not every attorney is going to be willing to do that, but it's really very minimal effort on their part. If you work with one of the attorneys on this list and they say they're not willing to do it, number one, let us know so we can take them off the list so people don't close there thinking that they can get it. But number two, if they're not willing to send one extra email for you, consider someone like Elizabeth Newman. And I'm sure, I'm sure Craig has someone lined up on the west side of the triangle who's happy to do it. I can't remember what attorney he uses most. It may be maybe Bagwell Holton Smith. I'm not sure. I don't know if Craig is on here. Yeah, I don't see him. But like I said, for sure, Newman and Newman has said that they will do it all day. If you work with an attorney who is not on this list, we might be able to add them. We would need to have a discussion with them about, their willingness to do Verus QUICKPay, use Verus for title, send the extra email, and we would need to know that they're going to pay us on time. Because again, we are paying you before we receive the commission. We're advancing you the commission. So we have to know that the attorney is going to then turn around and get us paid on time. So if you have an attorney that you think might be willing to do this, that you think can get us paid on time, that's not currently on the list, let your district director know. we'll be happy to have a conversation with them and see if we can make that happen with them. Does anyone have any questions? Well, I guess it was so simple and easy that there's no questions. We're all good.
I'm sorry, I have a quick question. So we are going to email QUICKPay at Verus after the closing,
The
not
attorney,
before?
yes,
I'm
the
sorry,
attorney.
I'm sorry, the screen is super duper small. It's hard to read it. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, so the attorney's the one who's actually going to send that email, and we're just looking for proof the transaction actually closed and that the attorney has the money. So now if the deed's already, attorneys don't record deeds unless they've got the money. So if the deed's been recorded and they send that, then we obviously know they've got the funds. Otherwise, we're just looking for proof they've got the money and that it actually closed.
So how does the attorney themselves know about QUICKPay unless they've done it before?
You're telling them when you set up the closing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So that's this brochure is actually, you can send this straight to the attorney and just let them know, like, hey, step number 2 is literally the only thing you have to do. Well, other than mailing us the check, which they would hopefully do anyway.
Do you feel like, I'm sorry, Aaron, do you feel like if we're using Newman and Newman that we would have to tell them to do QUICKPay, or would they automatically do it?
They may automatically do it, but I think I would just ask them anyway. I'm fairly certain that at this point they have begun using Verus Title for all Fathom closings, whether you're asking or not. But for the QUICKPay, to have them send the email, I would probably go ahead, at least the first time, go ahead and ask them so that they know that you want that. And then I would think they would do that by default for you going forward.
Thank you very much, Aaron.
Yep, absolutely. Anyone else with questions? Oh, Debbie joined late. That's no problem. I'm actually recording the brochure though. This will be in the resources section as well. To be honest, I think I've sent it out to my office, but I'm not sure how it's distributed elsewhere. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and